and that's where I met Bart. And I was
you met Bart at community college?
What's the moment you met Bart?
Yeah, that seems kind of pivotal. Yeah.
I don't remember actually.
Welcome back to JK News Out the Closet. We got Joe back. Today Joe's talking about going to college for his gang.
For the FAFSA, it was
to buy a pound of weed.
That's why he did it.
I left the gang. Yeah, I left the gang. I was on my path. I don't. In my mind, I wasn't thinking like I'm gonna be a good boy. Like I didn't know what the that was. But I remember going to East LA College, and then the goal was get financial aid because I need to jumpstart my weed business with my buddies, right? So we got the financial aid. We were able to buy a pound of weed.
Got my classes.
And for some reason, I somehow got it in my head, just like how I f***ed this homework, that I had to keep straight A's.
That's a good.
Get more money for the financial aid.
No, because I thought I had to pay it back. If I don't get straight A's, I thought that was the stipulation.
So funny.
But it was a C average.
No research.
Yeah.
You did like very little research.
Because there were people that talked about like, oh, got to pay back my financial aid and all this stuff. And also, I didn't know the difference between a loan and a grant. What I applied for, free money.
Yeah.
It was, I didn't know.
Just give it to you.
You applied for weed.
Yeah, but if it was a loan, I also would have been because I didn't know that you had to pay it back. So I applied for all these Cal grants, FAFSA, all these things, and I walked into the financial aid office, dude. Like, so a lot of people are against government aid and like all these things, right? But I was one of the people that actually benefited, even though I bought it for weed. That I
think that's why people are against government aid.
Yeah. But
true.
But there's a light at the end of this.
Got you in the door for school.
It got me in the door, and yeah, I think in most cases, guys in my shoes wouldn't have turned out this way, and they would just probably flunk, right? But yeah, like I said, I thought I had to be an A student, and I've only had 1 year of high school in my life. Like,
damn, bro.
Yeah, I ditched every day. I got, I got the GED. And then the way I got it is I signed myself out of high school when I was 17. I went to adult school. And then the teacher there was like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I don't know. I got to get my degree. And he goes, no, you're wasting your time. I'll pay for your GED. I'll teach you how to do it. Just take the test. And then go to college. So I was like, okay. So I just followed his directions. And
how much was the GED? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
Okay.
Yeah. But I remember the test being, I thought it was really hard. Because also, I thought college, university, I thought stuff like that was for geniuses. You know, you see pictures of Albert Einstein in your high school, and then you go, oh, this is a university person. You don't think normal people do that. You think normal people go work at the grocery store, right? Or Foot Locker or something. So, like, there's a whole different world that I don't know about. And then I'm in this whole system, and my Cambodian buddy, he's like walking me through this process, man. Tang, Tak, all of these guys, like, I haven't seen them in a long time, but they're one of the biggest influences of who got me into the door of like my friends told me about financial aid. They walked me through financial aid. They brought me to the bungalow, walked me through the office. Like, I was like, bro, like, that was so cool. Helped me sign up for classes, told me I need to go to a counselor to like strategize what I'm gonna do.
By the way, likely $164. Your teacher.
Really?
Yep.
During 2000.
For GED, yeah. I just looked it up.
Damn.
Yep.
That's a lot of money.
Yep.
Yeah,
and that's the teacher paying for it.
To just cover
just covered it, and I'm sure he's not making that money.
Nah, yeah.
It's like a bill for him.
Yeah. But maybe he just saw something, or I don't know, like, or maybe he does it for everybody. And then everybody just feels.
Maybe he was trying to have sex with you, dude.
That one.
That's the one.
He's like, hey, all I want you to do in your life,
Suck me off.
no. Be kind to hookers.
And I did.
You did.
I fulfilled his desires.
I will.
You're his best Padawan.
Yes, master.
Don't beat him up, except for with your tongue.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, so I was this is the first time in my life where like I think I was able to pay attention in class because community college is so different from grade school. The professors cuss. They've been through some shit. Their storytelling is good. They give a fuck about like professors that work in low-income community colleges. They care, dude.
They actually do care.
Yeah.
And they know how to like,
They really do.
speak to people that's fucked up all their lives. And you're in this community college is weird too. You have like a 50-year-old man that could barely speak English sitting next to you.
Yeah.
You have like child geniuses that are like doing extra class. You know, you have a weird classroom. You have
It's like a jury.
yeah. You have like convicts that are like teardrop tattoos that are like I'm trying to fucking better myself and shit, you know? Like it is a weird fucking collective.
Distract me.
And I'm here like doing arithmetic
Yeah.
with a cholo next to me. And it's like it is the most weirdest experience, but it's the first time in my life where I started to love learning. And I'm like fucking out here. I never read a book in my life. And I'm reading textbooks and it took me like 3 hours to read the first paragraph because of my ADD. I can't read. I don't know what the fuck these words are. I needed to read everything with a dictionary next to it. Cause I was like, what is this word? Differential. What the fuck is different about it? Like
What's different about differential?
That's confusing to look at the dictionary for a math word.
Because I started off with, so you know you do your placement test. And then the first thing that you get into, they try to see where you're at.
Yeah.
Because you got to start the classes. And then I started with English 101. And then I started with arithmetic and math.
What would that be in the list of?
That's elementary school.
That's like the very first.
Plus, minus, division.
That's
multiplication.
arithmetic.
Yeah, that's arithmetic.
So coming here from Virginia, I was like 14 years ahead.
Exactly.
He caught up though. He caught up.
Yeah.
I was dividing reciprocals.
And I was taking
We're equal now.
like different classes to kind of like I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do, but it was just I had to take classes because I needed my weed business. And around this time is like I reconnected with some of my high school friends, and that's where I met Bart. And I was
You met Bart at community college?
What's the moment you met Bart?
Yeah.
That seems kind of pivotal, yeah.
I don't remember actually. Remember the moment?
So the moment I met him, I was meeting up with my best friend, the other guy who had
Our long lost brother.
at the time. And then
Any day, brother, you gotta share here, bro.
Hey, what's the name, dude? We need to get him in here.
Any day,
I
brother.
remember meeting you either at outside of like either where you buy fucking Scantrons or books or something, because he told me to meet me there because I didn't want to grab food or something. And I remember meeting there, and he goes, "Oh, this is my friend Joe. He went to Keppel too, which is a high school I went to, but I never saw him. He never saw me." And then so I remember meeting him the first day, and I think you had your blue Dodgers hat on. And then I remember that moment, and it was just very brief. And then the next time I think was at Shumei, which is the MMA gym that we.
Yeah. I mean, at that time, I think I was exploring. Like, I was like, okay, maybe I'll do music. I've always been creative, but like that's when I started making beats. I had a rap crew, all this stuff.
This shit, honestly, and I love you, it cracks me the fuck up about you.
It honestly makes so much more sense.
But it does.
Like
It does.
like all the whole timeline of how you're explaining everything. I'm like, dude, I think I get Joe even more.
Yeah.
I get.
He just
Makes
wanted
sense.
to do art and music, fell in
People keep fucking him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, people fuck him up nonstop, even nuns or whatever, and then he falls in. It's amazing.
The SDA nuns are
He
crazy.
falls into doing like, you know, he's like, I'm trying to just get my weed business going. I have to go to school for it.
Naturally for weed. We're like, when did you meet Bart? He's like, honestly, I don't remember. Bart's like, you were wearing a blue hat.
Bart's like, you're wearing an LA Dodgers hat.
I don't remember.
I remember him because my best friend introduced. So you know, like when you're tight with someone, if they introduce someone, you're like, oh, this guy means something.
And also, his best friend at the time introduced me to multiple people at once.
Yeah, so for you, it was like,
So it was like, I'm meeting him, I'm meeting another guy.
I met the
I'm
fucking
like-
city. You know?
This is buff guy.
Meet and greet.
How did you know his best friend?
We were friends in high school.
Oh.
So when I was at East LA College, we walked past each other. He goes, Joe! And then I was like, hey. And then he's a very inviting guy. So like,
He's an extrovert.
yeah.
And you guys had tattoos at the time already.
Not yet.
No, because he was in college.
So, yeah,
He was in
after the military. Yeah.
Did you show Joe? Hey, check it out. These are fresh.
That's the crazy thing. Joe would have never known.
Still a little itchy.
Both of us, we both got
Look at
it.
how black this is. It's brick.
Hey, you're Japanese. This is everyone I fear, right?
But I think he was trying to recruit people for his like the MMA gym.
Oh, that guy went there too?
So he's like, hey Joe, you like martial arts and stuff? I was like, hell yeah. And then so I joined, and then that's where I remember, because when for some reason me and Bart would be goofing around, like, and
We're the
we'd
only
be getting in
goofballs.
trouble.
Yeah.
So everyone's serious. They're trying to be like macho dudes, and we're over here doing hiya while we're fucking each other up, right? And I love that. I love that environment, and I love these guys because they were like goofballs, but here's an alternative of like, okay, we're soldiers, we're Marines, but we're not afraid to like get down and
Same speed,
whatever.
same speed.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, maybe this is like my next group of friends that I can kind of hang with, and it's like it's away from all the dark shit,
Yeah.
And I remember
My
also,
cop buddy that you've seen here, he also trained there too.
right. He wasn't a cop at the time, but yeah, he was just a part of the group, and I think he was like a lifeguard or something like that. But yeah, it was just nice. Like, okay, I can be around dudes that are, if shit hits the fan, I feel like protected.
Yeah, because everyone was down in the group.
Yeah, and you guys fought with me when shit went down. Actually, after we got into fight at bars, we had parking lot fights. You guys were always there.
Wait, walking?
Yeah. But it was a really cool time because that's when I started easing up from being such a tough motherfucker. And like they had a big influence because they were such goofy dudes. And I was like, okay. And also in the past, when you go to martial art places, everyone's such a fucking, yeah, sensei, hiya. And then they're so fucking like, why? You're so tough.
They're a bunch of ass kissers.
They're so wide.
By the way, so Ryan posted this thing at lunch. He has Joe and Bart there shirtless. I'm like, whatever. He's probably doing like a profile for Grindr or something. And then you posted this thing of like them from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like
Pretty crazy.
It's doing really well right now. But like, looking at you is the most funniest fucking thing because you just look like the toughest motherfucker. Like I would have crossed every street to get away from
For real. All the pictures of you with your head shaved, I'm like, this guy has murdered people.
I can vouch for that fully because, like I told you guys, like I only knew of him out of fear. In high school,
which is so insane.
in high school, he was
Being
he was
afraid of
universally-
Joe is so insane.
Yeah.
All I mean by that is that he's just the nicest person, lovingest person.
Yeah.
But like, then I also know that I've never seen a person who could throw an office chair before. The weight is so strange. How could you possibly throw one with proficiency?
It's obtuse.
But he apparently can. So.
But
credit to you.
I do contribute like my window into being more of like a happy-go-lucky guy because of this group. Like Bart and his friends were always fucking around and they're so happy, and they kind of showed me an alternative of like, hey, there's another way we can navigate this whole masculinity thing. Like back then you weren't thinking about manhood like that, but you need to see examples of like, oh, like you can hold it down and not be afraid of bad guys or threats. But at the same time, like, why you gotta have this whole story of Mr. Rambo? Like, why can't you just be a goofy, fun-loving guy and you turn it on when you need to turn it on?
What's crazy is if I hadn't spent the 5th year in high school, I wouldn't be friends with him either.
Really?
It was like a perfect like connection because my best friend was actually technically like me and Joe were class of 02. He was class of 03. And then so were his other friends. And then so it was until I spent my 5th year that I became friends with him, and I found out we had other mutual friends that were also class of 02. So our group was kind of mixed. It was like
I think I should have been 02 or 01. I'm older than him.
yeah. I think we were 02.
Oh, yeah.
And he was 03. And then so that group was people that are like plus minus 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
And so had I not met him, then he would have never have introduced me to Joe either.
Damn.
Yeah.
And during this time, I was exploring just like life, from music to creativity, and I still had a lot of the PTSD. Like I remember, we both did. Like Bart was kind of dabbling in that shit too, but I think he was earlier than me to integrate into society because of military and all that. But I remember we would go, because that stuff was still active here in the SGV. We would go eat late at night, and we're just like, oh fuck, like, they're gonna hit us up. We're like paranoid. Like it wasn't a place where you can just, yet your life was threatened to just go eat at a cafe at night because there was always a stabbing or a shooting.
Yeah.
So
If you
that
ate
was
at a restaurant,
Yeah.
every time the door opened, you heard it open, you'd have to see who it is.
Yeah.
So as you're eating, you're always like, oh, okay, cool.
Did you guys do back the door shit or back away from?
Everywhere. It's like it's just so natural because like at any minute it could be someone just sticks a gun in and just starts spraying, or another clique can come in, or something that happened 2 years ago. Oh, you beat up my little brother. I'm here to fuck you up. It's like it could be anything.
What was like considered a protected territory? Was there?
There's no territory, but
Vin's hair salon.
Barbershop.
Oh,
maybe,
that
maybe,
Ben's hair
maybe.
salon. Yeah.
Okay.
But also, even if we were no longer involved or anything, right? There was just residual violence. Like I remember going out to eat with my friends, and you know, some guys came and they thought this group was another group, and then they would just shoot them all up. And there were always things like that.
Because Asians look alike.
Yeah.
Dude,
Have you guys
get out
heard
of my
from?
head.
Have you guys heard from these cats since we're tubing it, right? Like you talk about these stories. Have you heard from any of these cats?
I'm still friends with some of the people that decided to like go on this path.
Yeah.
And they're just like what, in their 40s, organized crime, like, but they told me that it's funny now that they work a lot with their rivals. And that's because in jail, like a lot of us are separated by race.
Got it.
And when you're younger, you're fighting over stupid things like, oh, he looked at me funny, which turns into like a 20-year fucking rivalry, right?
Back and forth.
But then I think when everyone gets older, they're like, what really matters is the business. So a lot of them tend to go there if they didn't die or still, you know, whatever. But yeah, so kind of going back to like my transition into opening my eyes into this world, right? Like the accidental college student, loving education, learning how to read, meeting these guys.
Learning how to read.
That sounds crazy.
And I remember, like, it's hard to pinpoint because, like, it was a blur. I was super impulsive. I remember there'll be moments like they throw parties, house parties. And I remember they had a group called, like, the Peacekeepers. And we joke.
Oh, yeah. The guys that just want to beat everyone's ass.
And I was never a peacemaker, but I was so inspired by them, right? And I remember our mutual friend had
John
a party.
Cena.
And he had a party, and there was a troublemaker there. He was so aggressive, and I was like, hey, dude, please calm down, right? And then when I was like saying that to him, he started going off on me. And as soon as he was yelling, I just started grabbing the back of his head and punching him in his face. And then like my other friend picked me up, pulled me to the side. He carried me like a baby. And he's like, we're supposed to keep the peace. And I'm like, I know, but I couldn't control it. He was yelling at me. It was such a stupid. Like,
We're supposed to.
How many
Peacemaker Days was sick though.
how many fights have you guys been in together?
Yeah, that's a good question.
together?
Oh, like participating together?
Yeah.
Battle royales. How many?
I know about one.
I think just one.
Yeah, I think it was one. Because by that time,
The one in the bathroom.
Bathroom.
yeah, by that
It
time,
went to the bathroom hallway
yeah, we were not trying to be.
at all.
I think we calmed down a lot at that point, but it was like still like a big thing. But anyways, that's a whole different story. And I think I told that story before, but that was the last time we actually had a real fight with.
That's my last like street fight ever.
Me too.
Yeah, ever.
Yeah,
We call them rumbles, but yeah.
yeah.
Well played.
But I do think one of the greatest things that happened to me at that time was starting JK with Bart, because I don't think I had any other alternative of not only an outlet but a way to like see people in a positive way. So like when, as weird as this is, like you're looking at JK and you're like, how the fuck did these weird guys making these videos have a background in the background that we did? Because it was one like super gay to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
But nothing liberated me more than to just
Out the closet.
be that.
That's exactly how I felt. I felt like it was like the pendulum. You've been forced to be so macho that like when it was time to make a video. I was like, what's the gayest I could be? And then Uncle Sam was created.
For your consideration, Streamy, think about us. Thank you.
Dreamy's for sure out the closet. This is the most out the closet we've ever been.
For your consideration.
And looking back, you know what? It's like full circle where like I had to put up this fucking. I'm a tough person, getting my ass beat all the time. I want to be strong, and then like I can finally relax, and it's like I get to be a kid again. And I have this best friend that we're just fucking around as like third graders.
Without getting beat up.
Without getting beat up.
Sick.
But we're beating other people.
Hey, that's a first for you.
Yeah, it was kind of like us reliving our childhood.
We were
the childhood we
kids.
wish we had.
And it was pure.
Yeah.
And then without, who cares? Like I was so, like I think the real strength is who cares who judges us?
Yeah.
Like who cares who, like if we're gay? Like I don't care.
For your consideration, Streamy.
Yeah.
Dude,
We're
Just
gay.
Kidding Films, the childhood we wish we had.
I'm telling you.
That's really
But
what
it makes a ton of
is,
sense
yeah.
though. Yeah.
And then there was no money behind it. It was just let's make fun videos because we love doing this and giving something to people and being a part of something. And then like from there, it's like the
You
whole.
have to love it. You have to love it.
Everybody was like, make
Where's the
more.
check coming from? Who the fuck knows? You have to
We
love
did it for like 5 years without any money.
You have to love it.
And we still do a lot of things that we should be doing for money, but we don't.
Oh, or we go to Trump Tower and blow money.
Yeah.
Still
Circus.
But I think yeah, like looking back, it was like, if I didn't do that, there's so many things that help me kind of like see people as positive beings instead of like negative. Like, for example, I remember we both had this feeling of like when a group that looked like a bunch of thugs would look at us, we would be like, fuck, they're gonna want to fight. They're gonna want to fight, right? And we get scared and we're like, oh, fuck, I don't want to do this anymore. Why do I go out? But then they go, are you guys the guys that on YouTube? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, oh my God, it's him. And to see guys, tattoos fucking all over their body, giggling like little girls, and like, these guys probably would have came up to us 3 years ago and wanted to fight. And you're just seeing these guys so happy. I love your videos, man. And then like little by little, like I started, if a group of people were looking at me, it's like more like, oh, potential friends. Oh, these guys they love JK. Let's talk about what our JK stuff.
You'll be like, take a picture of my girl. I'm like, you sure, man? You're not gonna kill me after?
You're not gonna jump me? Is that a setup?
And then it changed from, okay, here's a group of guys, I'm afraid of them, to, hey, you guys are doing something for the Asian community. You guys doing funny shit. Keep it going. And I start looking at people as we're one. Like, this is a group. Like, we're one, like Asian Americans. And at the time, I was in the Asian bubble, so that's what mattered, right? And then we have to do something because there's nothing out there for us. And then you start going, well, what if I had this outlet way earlier? And what if people watching this right now have a gateway into something more positive because we're creating? So I felt like we were on a mission to like, okay, we're making these stupid fucking videos, but it's like really a little bit deeper than just that, and we should really run with this. And we had this mission of, all right, the black folks got In Living Color, and we grew up on that, and the white folks, they have SNL, and I'm like, who's telling our story? We're gonna tell our story. And I think that became this like mission of, oh, we're gonna do something big. And that was like a mission that I felt like, all right, this is what I'm here to do. And I think that was the biggest thing of like having a purpose, having it all kind of came together. Like, we're building a group around something good. We're building a community. We're gonna try to rescue people that are in ruts that maybe we didn't have a place to kind of run away to. And it was like something that it was like, all right, this is bigger than me, and we need to fight for it. And that was definitely...
And when we come back, we're going to talk about Joe founding Next Shark, how he built it from the ground up, turned it into a fucking empire, when we return.
Click on these ads.